Blessings. Blessings. We are on yet another principle. I believe it's our 7th, isn't it? Is it principle 7?
Yes.
7 of 13. And it's the principle of attraction, or the law of attraction. And I have been confused for a long time about the law of attraction. I thought the law of attraction was about stuff, that you would attract stuff to you, and so I thought there is no law of attraction, because I already have the stuff, I'm just not seeing it. But in New Thoughts, we're talking about thoughts, so the law of attraction must be about thoughts. In Unity, we talk about the law of mind action. Thoughts held in mind produce after their kind, and that is the law of attraction. Thoughts held in mind produce after their kind. And so you look at that and you think, oh, the law of attraction. So one thought attracts another like thought. There's no reward or punishment. It's just the next thought is drawing from the previous thought, and the previous thought, and the previous thought. So if I'm not pleased with what I'm thinking, then it tells me I got to interrupt my thoughts somewhere. I've got to interrupt and say, oh, there's got to be a different thought to have here. And so that way I can begin a new trend of thoughts. Often when I've been in my car, and you've heard me say this before, and some of you have identified with it, when you're having an argument in your car and there's no one else there. and so but I have to say, Shawn, do you want to be right about this? Do you really want to be right about this? And the answer, fortunately, so far has always been no. I do not want to be correct about my grievances. I do not want to be correct about what I think is wrong in the world. I don't want to be correct about the dangers of all those other drivers coming in and out of the road. I don't want to be right that there's danger anywhere. I don't want to be right with any thought that says anything is unsafe. I don't want to be correct about any of that. So therefore, and the fact, here, let me interrupt it. I'm not correct about any of it. Let's cut it right there. I'm not correct in my thoughts about danger. I'm not correct about my thoughts of lack. I'm not correct about any thoughts I have where I'm trying to think that there's an absence of love or goodness. I'm not correct. It's all appearances. I'm not correct. I want to be very clear on this. So I want to interrupt those thoughts. The thoughts that are telling me that's not correct is correct. Because I have those thoughts. I'm guessing some of you do too. You have those thoughts that tell you what the lies are true. You know, the lie, that there's an economy. Our friend Mitchell, his father used to sit back in the 80s when they had that recession, and somebody said, well, don't you know there's a recession going on? He said, yes, but I'm not participating. You don't want to create a law where there isn't one. There's a law of attraction. There's not a law of misery. There are laws of abundance. There are laws of love. There are the laws of pure potentiality, as we've talked about, various laws. And we want to work with those laws. We want to work with the laws of divine life, not miserable life. We don't want to create laws that I must adhere to maintain my misery. I want to live in the laws of joy, of peace, of abundance, of fun, of playtime. I don't need to convince myself that my misery is eternal, that my fear is justified, that my outrage is wise. And haven't we done that? Have you ever spent time trying to think of the most clever response you could have? Just zing it. Just zing it. You know, oh, they're going to think I'm so smart. But to try to think of the kindest response, the most loving response, not reaction, but response, the most honest response that you could have to any situation. The most honest response is always love. But one, would need a thought of love. And that thought of love will attract another thought of love and another thought of love. But love works with wisdom. We have 2 divine mind faculties. We have 12. But the 2 that work together, we've got love in the heart, here, just behind the heart. But then you have wisdom. It used to be called judgment. And Charles' second wife, Cora Fillmore, thought judgment gets a bad rap and nobody understands it. So she changed the faculty of wisdom. And so you got these 2 working together. Here in the solar plexus is wisdom, and love is in the heart. And so the 2 faculties, the 2 intelligence centers work together. So because love without wisdom is just kind of flighty and often gets its feelings hurt. And wisdom without love is too rigid. It's just busy being right. And that's not good enough. But love and wisdom work together to create, and it's not a divine mind faculty, but it is an experience which is called discernment. That I can discern, honestly, what to think, what to see, what to say, what to do. That I have it within me. I don't need somebody else to tell me how to discern it. I can seek guidance, but it is within me to know the truth. And so within my law of attraction, my divine principle of attraction, I'm going to begin attracting new thoughts and new thoughts and new thoughts, thoughts that work, thoughts that without conflict, quite frankly. I wanted to read to you here what Mr. Renford said. This principle confirms that the creative power of thought operates through attraction. When we are in harmony with the laws, we are sending out currents, thought vibrations, charged with magnetic power. These currents come in contact with the minds of others, making them want to be in accord with our ideas and vibratory level. We cannot force our ideas or will upon others. We certainly cannot force others to understand what we have come to recognize as truth. We simply attract them by the way we think, live, and by our being. When we are not in harmony with the laws, we are still sending out thought vibrations charged with magnetic power, but invariably they will be vibrations charged with fear and magnified by negative imagination. Charles Fillmore in Dynamics for Life says, like attracts like. A thought will take up its abode in our consciousness with thoughts of like character. This law of attraction continues until combined thoughts make a colony. And so, with like attracting like, what do you want your next thought to be? Think about that, because this thought is going to have to be the impetus for the next thought. This is the thought that matters. Don't say, oh, I'll get to that thought later. No, this is the thought that matters. When I have a thought of someone that I don't care for, I'm not happy about it. It is my belief that the past is true. And am I trying to convince myself that the past is true that leads me to trying to create the next thought that somehow I'm going to skirt the law and not live in the results of the negative thought. Not the punishment, the results. Every negative thought has a result. Therefore, every positive thought has a result. If I'm not in harmony, it starts here. It starts in my thoughts. If I want to get to harmony, I've got to change that thought. It's so logical, but it seems so hard. But you see, I would have to surrender my beliefs or my convictions in what I think certain things mean. And that, which ultimately is not a sacrifice. I'm going to have to surrender my mother's belief and stuff. I'm going to have to surrender the politician's belief and stuff. Maybe my minister's belief and stuff. I'm going to have to surrender my child's belief and stuff. You know, I'm going to have to give up the thought that love means nice. No, love means love. And if I want to know what love means, I've got to go within and say, Spirit, tell me what love means. Tell me what love really is. Because I don't feel like I'm living in it. See, if I'm waiting for everybody to be nice to me, and people aren't being nice to me, and I think, well, there's no love here. Well, there can't not be love. There's your logical conclusion. There can't not be love present here. So if I'm not happy with what's going on, it's my thought about what's going on here that sums up. So if love is present, and I'm not joyously happy, I'm not recognizing the love. And love is present. And so it tells me I'm going to have to rethink it. I'm going to have to rethink everything I thought. If you want health, you've got to rethink your body. If you want wealth you're not experiencing, you've got to rethink money and exchange. If you want harmony in relationships, you've got to rethink the harmony. You've got to rethink what love is, what peace is, what joy is. They don't. The people that seem to be attacking you don't have to rethink it. They're not responsible for that. You are. You're responsible for rethinking, for observing differently than you ever have before. Now, the best and fastest way, and I learned this early on in my 12-step healing, there's a wonderful word, and it's called gratitude. Gratitude will change everything. To say, thank you, God, in all circumstances. All circumstances. The stuff you like and the stuff you don't like. The people you like and the people you don't like. And let's face it, it's not the people that we don't like, it's what they're doing and saying that I don't like. They're not agreeing with me. Those are the ones I don't like. The ones that seem to disagree with me. But I can still be grateful for them. In the meditation, I had a thought of someone who recently pointed out something. I thought, they don't know it, but they always help me to see more clearly. Their pain always helps me to see more clearly. And they have no idea what they do for me. But it's only because I'm paying attention. Otherwise I would say, oh, jeez. But I don't, because I'm paying attention. I'm listening to, the gift. The gift. If you think about your parents and the gifts they have given, the ones you've liked and the ones you haven't liked. If you think about your politicians and think about the gifts they have given, the examples they have set, the ones you've liked and the ones you haven't liked. If you think about all your spouses, all your relationships. Many of us have had several. And the ones you've liked and the ones you haven't liked. And you say thank you. All your siblings, which is everybody. Your siblings is everybody on this planet. The ones you've liked and the ones you haven't liked. And I'm talking everybody. Do not exempt anyone from being your divine sibling. Your brother and your sister. The ones you've liked and the ones you haven't liked. You have to say thank you. If you can't say thank you to them yet, at least say thank you for them. They have all brought you guys up these steps. They are good. The ones you've liked and the ones you haven't liked. And then there's your thoughts. The ones you've liked and the ones you haven't liked. Give thanks for every thought you've ever had. Every thought you've ever had you've designed perfectly in order to make you feel safe in the moment. But if there's no danger, we don't need to design certain thoughts anymore, do we? If there is no unsafety, if there is no lack, if there is no sin, sickness, or death in reality, then I don't have to design safety measures anymore, as if I am somehow unsafe in the room I'm in or the crowd I'm in. I understand feeling unsafe, but I can no longer understand being unsafe. Not with what I know. And we go, I have these conversations and people say, but what about, somebody's coming down the street with you, and they've got a gun. Let's not play that game. Now you're trying to convince yourself the danger is real. If you convinced yourself of the reality that there is no danger, guns might disappear. Did you ever think of that? You know, if you stop trying to convince yourself of lack, maybe you'd have everything you need. Maybe you'd have everything you need. Maybe cash would be overflowing in places you hadn't thought to look because you were so busy thinking about lack. And maybe every cell and every tissue and every fiber in your body would be spotlessly clean. Spotlessly clean. And whole and healthy if you no longer spoke about sickness, if you no longer convinced yourself that sin, sickness, and death were real. But you instead gave thanks to your body for flowing and all the organs and all the air and all the fluids and everything. And every day, every day, every day. And you give thanks to those who had been your enemies because you realized, oh, they're just saying, wake up and think about God. Wake up and remember God. And it seemed like they weren't saying it very nicely. But if love is what love is, and love is what love is, then they were always saying, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. How much louder do I have to scream at you? Do I really have to kick and punch and pull to get you to wake up and say, yes, God is real and I am good? You know, we'd all talk about that forgiveness is a wonderful thing, but who wants to be first to do it? Who wants to be the first one in line to experience total forgiveness? Well, I'd like to say it's me, but I've got a couple of holdouts. How about you? There's still a couple of holdouts. Would you like to be first in line to know what it's like to experience total 100% forgiveness? First in line. Wonderful. Tell me what it's like, won't you please? Won't you please tell me the divine experience of total forgiveness? Lead the way. Go ahead and pass me by in your spiritual endeavors. Go ahead and do better than me. And I've done great. I've done just great. But go ahead, outdo the teacher, outdo the minister. Be the example. Become the minister if need be. And be the shining, sparkling example of what the Jesus Christ message of hope is. Hope eternal is total forgiveness, is total peace, is total joy, is total love, and the conscious awareness of what that is. And so, let thank you become your words today. Let thank you be your words today. Andre, could you say the words thank you?
Thank you.
How about you? How about you? How about you? How about you? Can you say thank you? Lee, can you say thank you?
Thank you.
Zoe.
Thank you.
Lily.
Thank you.
Dan.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Did we get everybody? Well then, thank you.